Let's make sure we're actually live.
Okay, what did it say last time?
Hello, I think we're live now. Yep, there we are. Hey,
Hi.
welcome. Hi, welcome to Drowning in Yarn. I'm Caleb,
I'm Brian.
and this is our 5th live stream, or
Is it the fifth?
yeah, I think it's the 5th. So I guess we're considering these like podcasts.
Close enough.
Yeah. Hey, Knit Princess 83. So, what have we been up to? I guess we'll just jump right in, not wait for people, because it's always boring to watch back live streams and people are like, we're just gonna wait. So
Yeah.
let's just talk about our lives, I guess. Hey, Dax. Oh, hey, look, Kevin and Ray are here. Hi.
Hey.
So yesterday was our anniversary, so we've been together for 4 years now.
Yeah.
So this is how we're kicking off year 5, I guess.
Yeah, we just started the 5th year.
With you guys. What did we do yesterday? We knit?
Yeah, we knit and just kind of relaxed at home, and then we went to go run an errand to a plant shop down the street.
So Brian wanted plant pots. So for our anniversary, I got him what I'm calling a love fern, but it's fully not a fern. It's a ZZ plant because he wanted one, which you'll probably see later because Brian, during the pandemic, has become quite the botanist. So he buys plants all of the time, and I figured why not show them off here. Oh, thank you. People are saying happy anniversary and hello.
Oh, thanks.
There's so many people, I can't even believe it.
What is the show?
Over here. Sorry, we're looking at the chat messages, which I put on the screen, so hopefully that's useful when you're watching this back, so you can kind of follow along if you're watching on TV or whatever. But yeah, so Brian will show some of his plants today. We'll show some cool stuff we've been working on. There's not really, I don't have an FO. Do you have an FO?
I don't know if it really is. I showed it last time, but I was working on these just kind of scrappy socks.
Well, don't show them yet.
Oh, I was working on these scrappy socks, and the second sock was waiting on the Kitchener stitch for the last 5 weeks, I think. Like, I don't know why, but I tend to do that with a lot of my projects. They just sit there with the simplest thing. So this morning I just finally did the Kitchener stitch, and now I've got both of the socks, so now I can actually wear them.
I guess you might as well show them. We'll just kick things off with an FO. Why not?
I mean, these ones, I guess I showed them last time too.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
they have not been blocked or anything, so they look, unblocked. But this is it. I don't know, it's kind of dark. But it's the cuff, or the, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, the cuff and the toe are yarn that Caleb dyed, and then the main part of it is Akara yarns.
Akara yarns, yeah, from Canada.
Yeah, because it's the leftovers from my Volcano Trail cowl.
Oh, his Volcano Trail cowl was so beautiful. I think he showed it last time because the episode before, we were scrambling, which is just the case all of the time. We're just constantly not prepared. And he couldn't find it. And we were searching all over the house, like everywhere. And it was right on the other side of the camera, on top of the couch. So
Under a pillow. That's why I couldn't see
I
it.
mean, we were sort of looking at it the whole time, but it was hidden. So, but I think he showed it last time. So if you haven't seen that, then go check it out. But those are the yarns he was using.
Yeah, it's 2 of them.
So-
Wait, I didn't use the one you dyed.
No, okay, so
So yeah,
2
just
of
the main
them.
color.
But yeah, so what else have we been up to? I don't really think we don't really do a whole lot. I started getting back in the gym, which some days I feel like is going to kill me. But it's good because I feel better just moving around, which is kind of the important part. I'm still working from home. I feel like I'm probably going to be working from home indefinitely. And that's problematic only insofar as I don't leave the house. So I apologize if y'all hear Molly chewing. Oh, Brian, somebody wants to know the pattern you use for your socks.
Oh, it was Summerly Knits. What was that sock pattern?
The Shorty Sock Set Volume 1.
Yeah.
But I don't know which sock it was in there. Maybe the basic B with the arch support?
Yeah, it's that one.
Okay, so Summerly sock sets, y'all probably, if you watch this channel, you've seen us talk about Summerly a million times, and me particularly. She has 2 Shorty sock sets now, which are super cool because they're like I don't know, like maybe $8 or $9, but they've got like 4 patterns and then a bunch of different things that you can apply to those patterns otherwise. So like I've knit her basic bee socks before with a fade that she gives you all the instructions for the fade. She gives you the arch support to put in. She gives you instructions for crocheting little flowers to attach to them or pom-poms to put on the back of your socks. They're super cool.
Yeah, and it's perfect. I mean, the short socks take no time at all to knit up. I mean, it still took me a few weeks, and then it was just sitting there almost undone. But just it's perfect for when you just kind of want something in between the 2 projects, or if you've got something really complicated going on and you want something that's not gonna take up too much, like, I don't know, too much concentration.
Yeah.
Go for those socks.
So somebody asked, is Brian your partner or just your roommate? Brian is my boyfriend. We've been together for 4 years now, which I was telling him is my longest relationship ever. And he said, oh, I'm sorry, it has to be with me. I'm like, I mean, I'm happy it's with you. But yeah, so Brian's my boyfriend. What else? That's really it.
This is like the first weekend that we haven't had stuff going on in the last couple of months. So we kind of took advantage of it to just like do nothing yesterday.
Yeah, I feel like we did nothing for a year and a half and then maybe erred on the side of too much of everything. We've been super safe. We are both vaccinated. We wear masks everywhere and everything. But we've been venturing out and eating on patios and stuff. And so it was kind of nice to just sit at home.
Yeah.
And we watched a movie. What did we watch?
Ocean's 8.
Oh, yeah, Ocean's 8, which was super good.
Yeah.
He's never seen Ocean's...
any of them.
11, 12, or 13. I've seen them, and I like them. But, you know, I like them because they're interesting. I was never a huge fan. I think Ocean's 8 was probably my favorite of them. The cast was just phenomenal. And I love anything with Awkwafina and Mindy Kaling. So,
yeah.
I mean, you can't go wrong.
So good.
Hi. Oh, hi from Texas. I'm from Texas. Hi from California. Congratulations, Rebecca, on your first shot. That's awesome. But I guess, I have a couple cool things to show y'all. Oh, first I'll show you this. I've been taking notes on this little, let's see, notebook I got made with my logo. I've been getting everything with my logo on it just because, you know, why not? But let's see. So that, sorry, 1 second. Okay. And then the other things, and if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen these, but Pom Pom Magazine actually sent me their newest issue, which was issue 38. And then they also sent me their newest book, which is, oh, you can see, let's scoot the table. Everybody's looking at your thighs. They also sent me their newest book, which is called Moon and Turtle. And I kind of previewed these in my stories on Instagram. And I'm obsessed with both of them. So Moon and Turtle is so cool. It's these 2 sisters designed all the patterns in here. Let me see if I can show you the one that everybody was most excited for. So when I posted this on my stories, there's this one cardigan. It's fantastic. Super cozy. There we go. This cardigan, and like, look at these detail stripes. I really want to make this, and it's super oversized. So like, you can see this guy wearing it here. Let me just cover up. I don't know what information that is, but it's a super oversized, like, comfy cardigan. And there's also a sweater that goes along with it. So it's meant to, the cardigan, I'm sorry, is called Ginsan, and there's also a sweater called Kinsan, and it is designed to, like, let's see, to, what do you call it? Complement it with these stripes. And it's super customizable. So it's sort of like a little sweater set, which is super cool.
I really like that. I've looked at this other Pom Pom magazine here. I haven't looked at that one yet, but I like that.
Yeah, in the Pom Pom magazine, let me see. This is riveting entertainment watching me try to find these things, I know, but oops. But this one is a crocheted sweater. Look at this sweater, like the structure and like, I mean, I never would have guessed this was crochet, and I love this neckline. I don't know, these, I feel like they're killing it with their their issues lately. So definitely check out. This is Pom Pom 38, and this is Moon and Turtle by Kiyomi and Sashiko Bergen. They're awesome. So those were super fun to receive this week, and thank you, Pom Pom, for sending me those. Was very unexpected. And then I'm just going to show y'all what was sent to me, just like gifted to me, before we jump into the FOs, because this other thing. So I got this box from Nitpicks. They reached out to me on Instagram. Oops. And we're like, okay, I'm just gonna. Oh. And we're like, oh, can we send you some yarn to check out? And I was like, okay. And they asked me if there was a pattern or a project that I was going to want to do, if there was yarn they could send me for the project. And I said, the Rain Shawl by Andrea Mowry. I bought it when Andrea had her 38th birthday sale. So it was 38% off. Because every year during her birthday, and you want to be signed up for her newsletter for this, every year during her birthday, she does a sale that coincides with her age. So she turned 38, so she had 38% off. And so I bought the Rain Shawl pattern. And then I was looking for yarn, and they have these super beautiful, like, it's called Simply Wool, but they're like natural wool colors. I feel like these colors aren't necessarily coming up true to life, but these are undyed colors of wool, and I thought these would work really, really great. Oh, Molly's decided to eat, so y'all are going to hear her eating now. I thought these would work really great for the shawl. But then, in addition to all that, they sent me the rest of this box. So I'm not going to go through it all because there's a lot of yarn in here.
Yeah.
But do you want to watch those while I'm chatting?
Yeah.
Just in case. But there were some noteworthy things in here that I thought were super cool, including these. So there's this yarn called High Desert. And, oops. These yarns are 100% American wool. And they're really, really lovely. Like, they have nice, like, I feel like they're going to have really nice stitch definition. It's like a very round, very, like, sturdy looking wool, but it's also
really soft.
Yeah, it's quite soft. Like, I think it would be really nice. So this is sport weight. And they sent me a few colors in this. So I'm thinking of knitting maybe a shawl with that, but I'm not quite sure what. I'm currently knitting Andrea Mowry's Brioche-licious, but I mean, it's kind of disingenuous to say I'm knitting it. I started knitting it, and then I stopped knitting it, so maybe I'll pull that out and use this. I don't know. Yeah. It depends. But, yeah, so y'all will probably see me using some Nitpicks coming up soon, because I got a lot of it. And maybe I'll tell y'all what I think of some of the more interesting stuff. So, yeah, thank you, Nitpicks. This is just lovely. Oh, I'll show you one other one. So they have this yarn called Palette that is a really affordable fingering weight yarn. So these skeins are what, 231 yards?
Yeah.
And I don't know the exact price, but I know. Sorry, this is kind of in the shop. I know that it's super affordable. So you should check it out. And I love that it's marled. I think it would be really beautiful. So this might be something that goes into a shawl as well. It's just an oatmeal-y and kind of white color.
Yeah, it's looking a little darker on there than it really is.
Sorry, we're having trouble keeping up with the chat because we don't, I just am not great at it. But I see either Ray or Kevin is knitting a sweater in that yarn. I'm guessing maybe the High Desert. So it's really nice to knit with. Oh, hi, Carolyn in Chicago. I frogged a knit project about a week ago. Oh, people ask questions on Instagram, so I have those to answer too. Okay. And one of them was about frogging a project, and it was basically, let me pull them up. But Brian, have you ever frogged a project?
I don't think I've fully. I'm trying to think. No, I don't think I have. There's been one or two that I started, like I did a cast on. I wouldn't call it frogging because I got a couple rows in and I just didn't like it. I didn't want to deal with it. And then I just stopped.
Did
but
you
nothing
pull
that
it
I
out?
fully. No, I think they're actually still sitting on the old needles.
I do that. So I don't know that I've ever I mean, I've frogged a project in the middle of it and restarted, or I've pulled back a lot. My first sweater didn't really fit. And I don't have it here to show you, and it's hard to see. I made a video about it. It was just too boxy, and with my posture and the way I stand, if clothes aren't a little more fitted, then they just hang out, and like from the side I look like a bell. Like I can't explain it, and Brian thinks I'm nuts, but it's true. And so I needed it to taper a little bit just to pull the fabric in the back closer to my body. And so I ripped back like, 6 or 7 inches of the body and then reknit it. I would say that's probably the most. Most of the time I just like leave something to not be ever knit again and don't frog it.
I did try to make a blanket once, and I got like 4 or 5 inches, and I did not want to keep making a blanket, so I just decided to pull the whole thing out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Needles to the Ready says, I'm using the Simply wool for a sweater. And I feel like, did we see that?
Yeah. Because it's seamed, right? That's when it's seamed.
Right. Yes, the Ivon sweater. So on Needles to the Ready's episode from yesterday, Kevin was showing the Ivon sweater from Brooklyn Tweed knit in the Simply wool in Wordsworth and Wanda, I think, was the marled color. And so Kevin says it's beautiful to knit with, which just makes me happy because I'm excited to knit with it because it looks gorgeous. So, okay. Questions? So I asked on my Instagram, I put up a story post this week and said, do you want to ask us questions? Do you want us to answer any questions during the podcast? Because it was fun last time. Sorry, and I realize we're all over the place, but we're just going to keep on going.
Yeah, why not?
So the first question that like stopped me in my tracks because I was like, this person is trying to get us in trouble was basically wanting to know what we think are overrated knitwear trends. And I don't really even know how to answer that.
I think it just depends on what you want. What do you want to wear? Like, it may be something that everybody is making. It may seem like it has too much hype, but if you're going to wear it and if you like it and you love the colors, then I just make it. But I don't know if there's any specific trends that are overrated. Like for me personally, and I've said it before, like I don't wear shawls. Like I've made one shawl. Maybe this winter I'll actually wear or make another one. But for me, they're kind of overrated because I personally don't wear them. But they are really popular. Everyone loves to make them. Even Caleb loves to make them. They're just not really for me. I'd rather have a cowl or a scarf, but I haven't made that in a long time.
Scarves are so boring to knit sometimes. I mean, they're beautiful to wear, but I feel like I can knit a scarf once in a blue moon. So Jose, I'm going to talk about Brooklyn Tweed tones in a little bit. Probably after we answer this question, we'll jump into more WIPs. Hi Kimberly. So as far as overrated knitwear trends, I agree with Brian. I think that there's a tendency for people to hop on the bandwagon with a pattern, whether that pattern's right for them or not. And I just don't see the point. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If I wouldn't walk into like H&M and buy it, then I'm not going to make it, Like it might be beautiful, but not for me. And I don't want to knit something just because it's fun. Maybe that will change. Like in, 30 years after I've knit a million more things, I'll want to knit things just for the fun of knitting that thing. But like, I really don't want to spend that much time and money to make something I'm not going to wear. And typically, I don't look at things that are not like my aesthetic and think like, oh, that's so beautiful, I really want to make it. I want to make things that are more my aesthetic. My aesthetic is more simple. So I feel like there is a tendency to jump on the bandwagon sometimes, which is great because everybody has something different. But to me, that's an overrated knitwear trend, I guess. So I don't know.
Once we've made everything that we can possibly wear, I guess,
then we'll just
start doing that.
Making things for fun. Okay, so we gave, I think as PC of an answer as we can get. Somebody said, what got you into knitting? By the way, I love your piercings, which thank you. Which I talk about. Okay, so here's a good place to talk about this. I was on Irina Shar's YouTube channel called Fiber Chats 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And if you haven't checked out that interview, you definitely should. It was so fun to chat with her. And you should check out the Needles to the Ready interview with Kevin and Ray that Irina did. She just posted one today with Jonathan Tolo, I think is how you say his name, from Made by Tolo. And she's got a ton of other interviews. I think her channel's only been around for like 2 months.
Really new.
But there's like almost 40 interviews. She's like prolific already. And it's a really fun way to get to know other people in the knitting community. And I think you'll discover a lot of people you maybe haven't heard of. But during that, we were talking about my piercings because some people have issues with them. So I appreciate the compliment. But what got me
an opinion.
Yeah, what got me into knitting was just boredom. I was bored and I needed a creative outlet. And so, yeah, that's really it.
I thought that it was something interesting to do, but I never put any more thought besides that into it. I'm like, oh, that's fine. But then after Caleb took a knitting class at our local yarn store, I just used the stuff that he got. So they used the yarn and the needles because he'd already bought his own. And I just tried, and then I just kept doing it. Like, it looked really kind of crazy, but I liked the repetitiveness, and it seemed like something to kind of, I don't know, it could be calming, when I wasn't messing stuff up because I was trying to figure out what I was doing. But that's how I got started too, was like about a month after you, I thought maybe I should try.
And now that you're talking about that, when Brian started knitting, we were going to this men's knitting group here in Chicago, and he was knitting a dishcloth. And everybody would tell him how beautiful it was, and it wasn't beautiful. And like, it was okay that it's not beautiful, right? Because he's making something and that's cool. And there's so many other things you could compliment besides it being beautiful. And so I think that's an overrated knitwear trend. I don't think you always have to tell somebody something's beautiful. I mean, his dishcloth was like straight and then had this big like lump. And then there were like obvious columns of stitches joining in, and like, I mean, it wasn't beautiful. But it was good because he was learning and he was doing well and he was picking it up quickly. So I think it's better to give accurate compliments versus just saying something's beautiful, because he knew it wasn't, and then it made everything else that people might say feel disingenuous. So I think that's an overrated knitwear trend.
Yeah.
I think compliment people on what they're doing well.
Yeah, and I think that was 2 months after I started learning.
So somebody has a question for you, Brian. Yesenia says, Brian, do you consider knitting a lifestyle, part of your everyday, or do you pick it up once in a while?
I do it every day. Sometimes there's not much. Like when I'm working, I'll usually keep something by me in case like I don't have a video call where if it's just like a regular conference call, or if I'm waiting for something to load. And usually every night after we eat dinner, we'll watch TV and like knit a little bit. But some nights it's like I'll get half a row and a sweater in, and that's it. But I do knit probably almost every single day. Yeah, I don't look through Ravelry and everything all the time like I used to.
Yeah.
I need to do a little more probably just so I can get a better idea of patterns of what I want to make. But yeah, I think it is a lifestyle for me. I'm just not as... Caleb's a lot more into it than I am, but I still it's part of what I do every day.
I think you're as into it as me. I'm just more of like an obsessive person. So our friends were here in town, and we went to dinner with them. We got tacos on a patio, which was lovely. And it's a married couple, and the husband was saying how he's not. I think I asked if he was a fan of something. I can't remember what it was, but he said, I don't consider myself.
Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. I said, are you a Star Wars fan? And I don't remember why I was asking that. But he said, I don't consider myself a fan of anything. I like Star Wars. And I was like, oh, you're like Brian. Like, you're not excitable. I was like, I'm excitable. When I like something, I love it. And when I hate something, I hate it. But I don't really. It's just, I'm very binary. And so whenever I'm on that, like, love side of things, I'm like, I go all in, and I love knitting. Whereas he really likes knitting, and it calms him, and he gets a lot of benefits, and it's less of, like, obsessiveness, whereas I just I could talk about it all day.
You do.
I do talk about it all day. It's true. So somebody said, do either of you have a favorite designer for men's sweaters? I want to make a cabled boyfriend. Sammy said this. I want to make a cabled pullover for my boyfriend, but we can't find a pattern he loves. I found Brooklyn Tweed has a lot of really great men's patterns, or for more masculine shaped bodies. So I would definitely check that out, and that's a really good transition.
Yeah, and I think I've done several Andrea Mowry patterns too. I don't know if she has as many that are kind of geared towards men, but
Well, she has just the one sweater that you did, the Spark
Is that the only
cardigan,
one?
but it's not cabled. Brooklyn Tweed definitely has cabled pullovers that are modeled by male models. Um, I don't think Andrea Mowry does a lot of men's, like traditionally men's sweaters, though I've knit some of hers. You just need to be comfortable with modifications, but she doesn't
Yeah.
have a lot of cabled pullovers. Although her newest pullover is cabled, but I don't know whether that would work for your boyfriend. Um, oh, somebody said maybe they were saying that you're beautiful. They did say that, especially once you grew out his hair. They loved his hair. Um, Kimberly says Rowan. Check out Rowan. And I know
That's
Kevin and Ray on an episode of Needles at the Ready a few weeks ago showed off a couple books that they got from Rowan that had some good men's patterns in there. So I would check that out.
Yeah.
Brian, why don't you answer this question? I have to step away for a second because if I don't go push this button on the camera, it will turn off and we're almost at 30 minutes, which is stupid, but okay. But Brian, Dax wants to know, what sort of cake do you love? So Brian's Instagram handle is Brian Loves Cake. Why?
Yeah.
I don't know. So we'll let him tell you.
It was just kind of a last minute thing because before it was just like my first name dot my last name, and I thought that was not a good name, like Instagram name. But anyway, my favorite cake is probably like a funfetti or like any type of like yellow cake with vanilla frosting or a funfetti cake. Just like a simple, nothing too fancy. But I could eat it like every single day if, calories weren't an issue and if it didn't, make me feel like crap after I ate a whole cake.
I love funfetti cake too, and we just had cake yesterday. My favorite kind of cake is grocery store cake with buttercream frosting, like the cheap cake. And so we got one and we ate the whole cake, which was problematic this morning when I was working out and my acid reflux was acting up because I ate like crap yesterday.
Time for a cake break.
So Yesenia made a good point that Needles at the Ready did a make-along called Let's Hear It for the Boys, where they highlight a lot of patterns that are for more traditionally masculine. And I know that in their Ravelry group, there's a list. I want to say that they have a list with a lot of resources. So check that out. And then Logan, Sammy, says you should check out Veronique Avery's designs. She's made some great ones. But somebody asked about Brooklyn Tweed tones, and I mentioned Brooklyn Tweed. So I want to talk about my sweater, and I'm so excited.
And yeah, that's Molly's back there just chewing on her toy.
Oh, can you see her? No, my computer's in the way.
I think she was moved a second
This
ago.
spot right here is Molly's tush, right there. So I've been posting my sweater. I got the pleasure to preview knit with Brooklyn Tweed Tones. Brooklyn Tweed sent me yarn, which was lovely of them to do before the yarn came out. And so I've been knitting the Ott Sweater by Jared Flood, also another designer you should check out. Obviously, he's like legendary. But the Ott, it's spelled O-T-T-E. And I've been knitting it in Brooklyn Tweed's tones. And I posted it. I'm just going to show you my yarn bowl first. I posted it and my yarn was in this like coffee mug. Oh, it's right here. I had it in this coffee mug because it was like the only thing I had. And it was like falling all over the place when I was knitting. So I put it in this coffee mug.
Yeah, you dropped it on the floor like several times an hour, it seemed like.
Oh yeah, Brian would be stretching in front of the coffee table and my yarn would roll over to him. So we'd have to send it back. So yesterday we were at the plant shop and I got this kind of iridescent, it's a planter, but it's now my yarn bowl.
Works perfect for that.
So, Ebony asked, do you have any suggestions for someone who has never knitted a sweater before? Yes. And I will tell you in just a moment. Will you move that, please, and put this over there? So I'm going to put my sweater right here. So this sweater is knit in Brooklyn Tweed's tones. And let's see. Here we go. Oops. So it is a top-down yoke sweater. And so you cast on the neckline and knit down. And then it's got some raglan shaping, which was really interesting. So after you finish the yoke, this colorwork portion, then you end up with some raglan shaping down to the underarm. And I went ahead and did a tubular bind off on my sleeves. So you can see there, because I did an alternating cabled cast on here, which is not a tubular cast on, but it's got a little bit of the more, it looks a little more finished, sort of like a tubular cast on, but it's a lot easier. And so I thought those were a nice pairing. And my favorite tubular cast on is one, I'll have to find a link or maybe do a video whenever I cast off the other, or bind off the other sleeve. Or I'm sorry, my favorite tubular bind off is one where you like, it's for 1x1, you like slip the knit stitches with the yarn, or you knit the knit stitches and slip the purl stitches with yarn and back for a round, and then you slip the knit stitches. I'm saying this all wrong, so I'm going to stop. You basically slip your knit stitches with your yarn in front, and then, God, I can't say it right.
I've never even done that.
I'm not going to say it. Anyway, it's a tubular bind off, and I'll put a link. You're slipping stitches for 2 rows, like alternating your knits and purls, which ones you slip, and then you end up with like your yarn sort of forms like a little valley. It's weird because all of a sudden your knitting just like comes up, and then it splits, and then you Kitchener stitch it all to closed. I don't know why I can't explain it, but I can do it without looking at any instructions, so it's all in my head.
Yeah.
But I'll put a link down below, or maybe even do a tutorial video for how to do it. It's really cool.
That's probably a good idea.
But I'm obsessed. So Brooklyn Tweed Tones is very much like Shelter. It's here. Will you hold this?
I will.
Thank you. It's very lofty, but it's a 3-ply. So Shelter is a 2-ply yarn. And this yarn, if you've ever knit with Brooklyn Tweed Shelter, super similar, except the 3-ply gives it like a roundness that Shelter doesn't have, and like a little more strength. So I'd say it's a little bit of a sturdier yarn, like less likely to break. I've never had an issue with Shelter breaking whenever you're knitting with it. Oh, I should tell you the colors.
Oh, yeah.
Say what you were going to say.
I was just going to say, because I just wanted to show, because I liked seeing, like, it's a little more round than what Shelter is. So it gives kind of a different stitch definition. But it's supposed to be the same gauge as Shelter.
Ebony, you said I've done that before. Were you referring to the bind off, perhaps? This I knit in. This is the other really interesting thing about tones, is that there are 12 colors, but each color is available in 2 tones. There's the overtone and the undertone. So the way that they do the yarn is they take all the wool and they dye it gray, except they dye it 2 shades of gray. So there's a darker gray and a lighter gray. And then they take those 2 shades and they put them all in the same dye bath, and they dye them the colors. They over dye them in the colors. So you end up with each color 2 tones of that color, and those 2 tones are the same dye lot, if that makes sense, because they were dyed in the same gray bath and they were dyed in the same overtone or over dyed bath. So this sweater is 2 colors in 2 tones. So it's really is for colors of yarn. So this is Zest in the overtones, would be this brighter one, and Zest in the undertones is this darker one, which would have had that darker gray base. And then this is Nimbus in undertone is the darker blue. It's a bluish gray. And then overtone is this lighter blue. And I thought it was really nice to play with just 2 colors, but the different tones of it, and use this yoke. So this sweater was designed for Shelter, and Tones is an exact match for Shelter for gauge. So any of the Shelter patterns, Tones is like a perfect yarn to use for. So I don't know, I love it. And I love it so much that both Brian and I, Molly has brought her toy over here. Both Brian and I purchased sweater quantities. Come here, Molly.
Yeah.
Molly's going crazy under the table. We both purchased sweater quantities of it.
Yeah, I got Melba Undertone.
Do you want to pull it up?
Yeah.
So while he's talking about that, Ebony, you asked about knitting a first sweater. I know along with this yarn, the Brooklyn Tweed Tones, Brooklyn Tweed released a new pattern called the First Raglan, and they're doing a knit along starting on September 1st. And both of us bought the sweater quantities of yarn so that we can participate in the knit along starting on September 1st. And you don't have to knit the raglan. It's really for tones. So you can knit any pattern using their new yarn, and that qualifies. So I'm gonna knit a sweater, but it would be a fun thing if tones is in your budget to like do your first raglan, because they're going to be doing the knit along has some knit nights, I know, and those are going to be focused on that first raglan, so you'd be knitting it along with people, so it'd be really fun.
Yeah.
But this is what Brian got.
So it's the this undertone. What is it called again?
Did you say
Melba undertone? So it's this color here. So I haven't figured out exactly what pattern I was going to do. I'm leaning towards the Albion, which is this Jared Flood pattern, but I'm not completely set on that. I think I still got to look a little bit more. I've still got a sweaters quantity of Ranch 03, so between this one or the Ranch 03, one of them I want to be like a basic raglan sweater, and then I want to do something different with the other. I just haven't decided which one is going to be which. But this yarn should be here this week.
Mine's coming tomorrow. I'm excited.
Oh, mine actually. I mean, we ordered at the same time, so maybe.
I got a notification. So anyway, I'll just wrap up by saying I started this sweater the Monday before last. So I'll finish it today. All I have left is like a couple. I finished all the decreases on the sleeve, and then I just need to knit a couple more inches and then do the cuff. So I'll get it done in like 13 days, which I know I shouldn't knit for time, but I always am proud of myself whenever I get a sweater done in like 2 weeks, because it makes me feel better about all those sweaters that languish. Which, do you want to talk about your sweater?
Oh, yeah. So this is the Claf Cardigan. It's a test knit for Atelier Cliche. And so I just finished the bottom, like the waist bind off part, which is like stockinette that's folded over.
Put it there.
Oh yeah. So it's just stockinette that's folded over, and now the newest part of the pattern is out, so it's just the sleeves, and then this is going to be done for the collar, this stockinette that's just folded over.
So wait, here, you want me to hold it up?
Yeah. Yeah, so there's going to be the whole collar that goes in here, because it just kind of lays a little funky right now because there is no collar, and then the sleeves. So I'm nearly done with it, I feel like, because those two, I mean, I know the sleeves are going to go by really quickly. I can't say that about the collar portion, because that's...
This texture is really lovely. I just wanted to like, it's great. So it looks, both of us are a little concerned that it looks a little short, but Brian thinks it's going to grow.
Yeah, this yarn is very stretchy. I don't have I forget which one it is.
What are you knitting it in, did you say?
It's, I think it's the Fiber Company's, I can't think of the name of it right now.
It's cotton and wool.
Yeah, it's got cotton, linen, wool, and silk.
I don't know what the name is. Cotton, linen, wool, and silk. Fiber Company. Look it up. I don't know. But it's gorgeous, and it's so soft, and I think it's going to be really nice. So he has multiple cardigans, but they're very much like winter cardigans, and this one will be nice, I think, in like when you're chilly but not cold.
Yeah, because I made the Spark cardigan by Andrea Mowry a few months ago. Yeah, and I love it, but it is really warm, so I wanted something that's kind of in between that. And this was in Luma.
Luma.
That's the name of it.
Misty says it will block out beautifully. I agree.
Yeah.
My only other whip, and I've shown this before, so I'm just gonna like flash it, is this sock. So I'm just still working on the second sock. It's a Socksploration sock from Earth Tones Girl, and I'm knitting it in Woolens and Nosh saltwater taffy. And then the heel, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see, but the heel is from Hawari Bazaar. And it's not totally white. You can sort of see it's got all these little bits of color in there, and I thought it was really pretty.
It goes perfectly.
Yeah, with this like rainbow yarn. Now, my friend got married, and I was in her wedding in July, and these were going to be the socks that I wore with my outfit. But, you know, that didn't happen, so...
But you did make a whole other pair of socks.
Did I?
during that time with the
Oh, with Mondim. I don't
Yeah.
want to talk about it. So my video with Mondim is coming, and things are going to be changing a little bit, but I'm still making that video. I'm just a little sad about my socks. But what else? Oh, so
Let's look
oh,
up.
do you have another whip?
Yeah,
Oh, yay.
I've got the why can I never remember the name of this?
Oh, Yesenia says, have you both met with other knitters in the city? And yes, we have. Not really since the pandemic began. I feel like I've made friends, knitting friends that live in Chicago and I've never met in person. Like Hunter from Pitchfork Fiber, who, I was going to show y'all, I have one of his bags here. It's the everything tote from Pitchfork Fiber. He ice dyes these bags and they're so cute. But we've never met in person because every time we were going to like go sit at a park or whatever, it just hasn't happened. And, you know, the last year and a half has been weird. But before that, we made a lot of friends who knit. And so we still see them. We've had them over to sit on our patio and knit, which has been nice. So yeah, we do have some Chicago knitting friends. Catherine is here. We miss seeing you too,
Oh.
Catherine. Catherine Hegg is one of our knitting friends, and she's amazing. She is the brioche queen.
Oh yeah.
Or the goddess of brioche, I believe, is trademark. There's a sign and everything because somebody named her that. I can't remember, but Catherine's amazing.
Yeah.
Hi, Catherine.
She helped me out so much when I was like first learning. Anytime I'd like mess something up, she'd like could just look at it and within like 30 seconds know exactly what was wrong and how to fix it.
Right.
It's great.
Yeah.
So I'm working on the Lexington Cowl, which is this. It's in linen stitch. I don't know if you can see it that well, but I really like the pattern. It just looks very different, obviously because it's linen stitch. So you just knit one stitch, then slip one all the way around, and then you do the opposite on the next round where you knit the one that was slipped. And it creates this cool almost...
Did you just give away the pattern?
I mean, linen stitch is a...
Oh, it's
Very
a thing. Yeah, it's true.
It's just like
Okay.
seed stitch or whatever.
It's
It's-
like... yeah, you're right.
But I mean, you alternate the colors and everything so that it looks like this. But I'm making it in Rowan's tweed.
The Rowan felted tweed.
Yeah,
So we got this yarn when we went to
it's nearly done.
Woolen Company.
Yeah,
So we've been to Woolen Company twice now, and the second time we saw our friend Kimberly, who's here in the chat. But this pattern is from Blue Sky Fiber, but the yarn that they called for was just a little. It's called Metallico, and it's beautiful, but it's a little shiny. I think for Brian's aesthetic, so
yeah.
he
It has a
chose
lot
that
of.
yarn.
I think it was silk in there that made it. It's the silk.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I mean, you can tell by the name Metallico. It's like, it very much has a metallic look. It's beautiful, but just not for him. So he chose a different yarn and needed a sport weight, I think, and
Yeah,
that's what we could find.
Yeah,
So we've been trying to be good whenever we go to yarn stores and shop for projects. So that doesn't necessarily mean that we don't buy things we don't need, which you'll see in a minute, but it at least gives us some parameters when we are purchasing yarn we don't need instead of just going wild
just
and
buying
not
to stash.
yeah, and not having anything that's useful. I guess I'm trying to buy more intentionally, and part of that is making sure that the yarn that I have in my stash, like I have enough of it for something. So buying with a project in mind is helpful for that, because at the end of the day, at least I know I can make that one thing, even if I don't make it, or even if or I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but at least I know that there's something I can make. Like I have enough of it to make at least one pattern.
Exactly.
Oh, Yesenia, I guess, is in Chicago.
Oh,
Wait, I didn't know that. Yeah, let's do it. That would be really fun. We meet up and knit. So,
do you want to go through the other stuff you got at Wool and Co?
should I? Yeah, since we were talking about Woolen Company, I'll talk about. Oh no, I have all these tote bags. Oh, what's in what?
There's like 5 tote bags over here.
I'll talk about my. Let's talk about acquisitions. So Dax asked, "Is linen stitch like the Eye of Partridge?" And I don't think so.
I'm not sure what Eye of Partridge is.
Eye of Partridge creates like a lattice work design, I thought, like these diamonds. So Eye of Partridge is one of the protective, or I guess you could say protective. It's one of the stitch patterns that you would typically use on the heel flap to create more fabric.
Oh, okay. This, no, I don't think it's like that. Because this, like, the fabric that it makes with linen stitch is not very stretchy or anything at all. It just kind of creates a cool texture on it, but it's not. You wouldn't want to use it on socks at all.
Oh, because it's not as stretchy.
Yeah, it doesn't
Okay.
really have any stretch.
So Rebecca says, do either of you have a limit to how many hats, cowls, or scarves you have? And the answer is no. No, you could come shop for hats here. And then Helena says, do you knit Western style or European? So I knit continental, and Brian knits Western, I believe, English.
Yeah.
So he throws and I pick.
If I'm doing stranded color work, I'll use both. Like I use both hands, but I've tried to do something in just continental, but it just doesn't stick. I'm used to doing it the other way, to throwing it. So I don't know. Maybe someday I'll switch it, but not now.
Same. And I have tried doing that thing where you knit color work and hold yarn in both hands. So you're throwing with one and picking with another, which my friend Logan says is a recipe for awkward tension. But a lot of people do it successfully. Sorry, Logan, I just called you out. But I don't like doing it. I can't do it. I cannot tension my yarn and throw. So whenever I knit color work, I have both strands of yarn over my finger. And I don't love knitting stranded color work. I just did this yoke. I think yokes fly by. So that's another thing. Ebony was asking about good tips for first. Logan says, wow. Sorry, Logan. Good tips for first sweaters. And I honestly am kind of coming around to the idea of a yoke being a really good first sweater.
Yeah.
Because the yoke flies by. I don't know what it is about it, but it goes so quickly. And they fit really well. So, but I did mine in color work, which is why it just came up again. But I'll show y'all some of my latest acquisitions. So the first is what I got at the Brooklyn Tweed tent sale. So every year Brooklyn Tweed does a tent sale. Now this is their second one. Before their second online tent sale. Before they would do it in person in Portland, but because of obvious reasons, it moved to online, which is good for all of us. And so, well, if you are quick with your finger, because it sells out really quickly. So I bought this veil. This is all veil, which is Brooklyn Tweed's lace weight. And it was so cheap, so I bought 6. So that what I'm going to do is hold it double for a fingering weight and knit a shawl. So I got 2 very low contrast colors, and I think I'll stripe it, right? Do maybe a garter shawl where I knit one garter ridge in one color and the next in the other. Then the other thing I got, which I'm going to crinkle for a second, is another sweater quantity, because it, again, was very, very, very affordable, and I could not help myself. I got another sweater quantity of Rancho 2, which you may have seen my video where I think the video is like how one sweater saved my knitting mojo. I don't know what I called it.
I don't remember anymore.
I don't know.
I remember the sweater.
Yeah, coming up with YouTube video titles, y'all. If any of you, if I can hire you to do it for me, I will. It's so awful, so I don't know what it's called. But there's a video I put out about a sweater that I knit in Rancho 2, and it's the Forbes Sweater, which I don't have here, but it's a textured yoke, which was awesome to knit. And so this is the same yarn, but in the color tobacco. So I got a sweater quantity of this. And I absolutely love it. So Logan clarifies and says people tend to have different tension between picking versus throwing, but with practice, it can turn out well. And I think I misrepresented Logan's opinion, and for that I am sorry. But I'm just going to stop saying people's names. But yeah, so this is all my my Brooklyn Tweed tent sale acquisitions.
I'll
We'll just put it in this bag. Okay, there we go. What else did I get? So this is my yarn crawl acquisitions. We went to Sister Arts, which is a yarn store about 2 miles up the road, south. So we walked over there, and again, I wanted yarn, but I didn't want to just buy anything. So I bought enough to make a shawl again, like garter striped, and I've never knit like a shawl or anything really with like this kind of gradient yarn. So this is Wonderland Yarns. It's a blossom from Wonderland Yarns in the color Chrysanthemum, number 14. So that's so beautiful. And then I got this amble from the Fiber Company, and that's a little, like, I think it's better. So this lighting is subpar, and I apologize, but this is the color Blackbeck. And I figured I could knit a shawl that, again, stripes between so that it tones it down and makes it something wearable for me, because I don't...
Did you have a shawl pattern in mind?
No, okay. But I bought enough to make one.
Well, I know we looked at a few samples.
There was that sample. There was a sample that I wish I knew the name, because this was like not anything I would wear, which is probably why I didn't get it. But it was like this, like very graphic, like almost like it had flower patterns, but all the little like petal type stuff was just short rows. So the whole shawl was knit in like these little groups of short rows. It was crazy, like so beautiful, but
looked really nice.
Yeah. Do you have any acquisitions? I can.
Oh, I do. From
take a break.
The Brooklyn Tweed.
Oh, you did the virtual tin sale. I should have let you go first.
Yeah, and I got a sweater's quantity of. Does this have a name? I think it was just like a prototype.
No, it's a prototype. So at the virtual tent sale, they have prototypes and seconds and undyed skeins and everything. So this was a prototype for something.
So it's a sweater's quantity. It's a very deep green. I don't know. It looks bluish there, but it's like a very deep green. And I got a whole sweater's quantity of it. I haven't tried to see what gauge it really is, because I don't know if it's DK or worsted. But I just really like it. It's very squishy and soft. It looks kind of blue there, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a little... I don't know if this... Can you see this? Is it going to cover your face? It doesn't want to focus. But it's gorgeous.
Yeah. You'll see pictures on Instagram, I'm sure, once I make a sweater with this, too. I've got like 4 sweater quantities of yarn now.
Oh, wow. Roderick did like a super like or something. Oh, my gosh. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's so kind. Sorry, we are really bad on following the chat. Pressed flower shawl. It wasn't the pressed flowers. I know the pressed flowers, and that's really pretty. I need to... Next time we go to Sister Arts, I'm going to find it, and I will... come back and update the description of this video. I cannot commit to a timeline, but I will. Did you get anything else?
So that was from the Sister Arts. I got this. It's just a self-striping yarn from Unique.
Oh, yeah. You can show the side of the box.
Oh, yeah. I've never done a self-striping yarn, and the first time we went to Wool and Company, I also got another self-striping yarn, so I guess this is turning into something that I'm gonna start making. But it's already like separated into the two separate cakes, so that should make it easy. I am not going to be making a sock that goes up to my knees, though, because that is way too much.
Can you imagine?
Time to spend.
Wasn't this what... we obviously watch a lot of Needles at the Ready. I think Ray was talking about this earth yarns, but the one that he used was not a sock yarn, and this one is, right? This has nylon.
I think he got the sock yarn. It was just a different color, right?
I think he said that his didn't have nylon, and so he was going to just wear them around the house.
Okay, maybe.
So when we were at Sister Arts, another thing that I got... I may have got this a while ago, but it will transition into Wool and Company again. So I got this Jowl by Lang, and these are super cool because that is upside down. In the center, I don't want to pull it out, but in the center is a little, what do you call it? It's a spool of reinforcement thread to put in the heel and the toe of your sock. So this is... 25% nylon, but then there's also each skein has a little, so like if you push on it, it's hard because there's a spool of that reinforcement thread. So I got that at Sister Arts here in Chicago, like in the city up the street. But then when we went out to Woolen Company, which is in Elgin.
Yeah, it's a sort of far out suburb of Chicago, but yeah, it's Elgin.
So it's a big yarn store. It's like 6,000 square feet. I got 2 skeins. So they're 50 grams, so you need 2 to make like a pair of socks for me. I got 2 skeins of it in blue. And this was actually inspired by socks that I saw on Jonathan's Days, which Jonathan's Days, he's a guy in London who has a knitting channel here on YouTube called Jonathan's Days. I think his name is Jonathan Day.
Yeah.
And he's just lovely, and he makes beautiful things, and he knits socks at lunch. And he knit a pair of socks in Garthenor yarn that was marled, so it was red and white, and I loved them.
Yeah.
And so I was looking for some marled sock yarn, and I had that black and white one, but then I saw this blue and white one, and these also had that reinforcement thread. So I picked up 2 skeins.
Yeah, I don't think we've never done anything with the reinforcement thread either, so it'd be interesting to see how different they hold up compared to just nylon.
Somebody says, didn't Chevy Rel get that yarn too? And I don't know. Actually have not checked out Chevy Rel's YouTube channel, but apparently I should, because I've been hearing a lot about her. And I think she's who they're always talking about on Needles Thready, Chevis.
Okay.
Did you have anything to show from Woolen Company? Because I can keep going.
So I got this Zauber Ball, which is another self-striping yarn in, I don't even know what colorway this is. But I really like these colors. It's just like dark jewel tones. I'm going to be making a lot of striped socks now. And then I also got some yarn for I guess it's going to be a cowl. I just got enough to make a cowl. I don't have any pattern in mind, but it's stone wool. I got 2 of these in this like bluish color, except I don't know where the other skein is right now. That's a problem. And then I got this to be some kind of an accent or, coordinating color for it. So it is really nice. I saw it there and I grabbed it. I didn't know too much about it. But yeah, I don't know when I'm going to start making anything with it. I just liked the colors.
That yarn is American Delaine Merino, so it's like a single breed yarn. It feels really nice. Like it's a little rustic, but definitely soft.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
So light.
So I got 2 more things. So, there's a couple questions, which we haven't answered any of the questions, so we've been chatting. Yesenia says, do you both share yarn stash? And no. I have a lot more yarn, and I'm very, which I will get to in just a second. I'm very protective over it, because whenever I see yarn, whether I actually have a plan for it or not, I just I fall in love with it, and I see what I could make. And so in my head, I want those things that I could make. And so I don't want somebody to take it and then I can't make those things that I'll probably never make.
A lot of times we tend to do different colors too. Like I like more jewel tones. He likes more earth tones. Although I guess we could still swap some of those, but yeah, if we don't, we've swapped a few skeins.
Yeah, but it's always we'll trade things sometimes. Yeah. That will work better for each other's projects.
But honestly, he wouldn't, I don't think, notice if I used some of his.
No, I wouldn't notice. It would go unnoticed for sure. I'll show just 2 more things, and then I will talk about my yarn stash a little bit. So I also got this loft. So I've been designing a hat, which I actually brought over here. It's right there. Let me grab it. Uh-oh. Will you hold this and show that? The loft.
Yeah, these are, I don't even know the colors.
Brooklyn Tweed Loft.
Yeah, Brooklyn Tweed Loft Caraway is this marled one. It's really nice. And did you get it to go with this?
I did get it to go with that.
Foothills.
So what I'm going to do with that, last episode of this podcast series on my YouTube channel, I was showing off a hat that I'm designing. So I'm working on the smaller size right now. It's a basic ribbed hat. But I wanted to knit one in Brooklyn Tweed Loft because I really love those colors, so I got those. And this is inside of this really beautiful... So if you watch my episode about project bags that I love, you'll know that I love Hide and Hammer bags. And this bag is a special edition from... Sorry, I'm just closing it. It's a little easier to show. Special edition from House of a la Mode. It's an exclusive. And I was able to grab one, and I love it so much.
Very wild.
It's wild. It's so fun. I just love it. But then I spilled water on it, and so the leather got stained. So I need to figure out what to do.
I didn't
Maybe
even
I'll
notice
just
that.
put the whole thing in water.
It's patinaed.
It's patinaed, Brian says.
I don't know if you wanted to.
Oh no, that was it.
right.
So I was saying I would talk about my stash, and so my vlog after I hit a year, because now I've been doing this for a little over a year, and somehow people are watching still. So thank you all for being here. I decided to do a giveaway where people could shop for my stash. So I picked 4 winners who would each get to pick 2 skeins each. I've heard back from 2 of the winners, so I need to bug the other 2. Because technically I was supposed to hear back from them already.
Oh, yeah.
But the 2 that I heard from, I just thought I'd show the yarn that I pulled. I haven't actually sent them the picture of it yet. I'm going to do that after this. But I pulled yarn last night because I've been super busy and just have not had time to go through all my stash for them. So the first person was into purples. So basically what the giveaway was to enter, all you had to do was comment on that video before the end of the giveaway and say your favorite color to knit with. And then I was going to go through my stash, find what I have in that color family that I'm happy to part with, and then let them choose 2 skeins from. So the first person said purple. So I pulled some purplish yarns. So the first 2 that I had were these colors of Cielo by Holskarn, which is like
So soft.
I mean, just could not possibly be softer, and it's like a bulky yarn. I think a 6 or a 5, like bulky or super bulky, and it's 42% alpaca, 42% merino, and 16% nylon, and just is so soft. Then I pulled this watershed from Hairspill Designs. That's more in the blue. Let me see if I can. Yeah, more in the blue family, but there are some flecks of purple in there. I thought that was really nice. Then I bought this one-of-a-kind from Wild Star Fibers that's got, it reminds me of Sully from Monsters, Inc. It's like this teal and purple. I thought that was really beautiful. I have this skein of kin yarn that I thought would be a nice thing to let somebody. I love, here's the thing. I'm not at all saying that I don't want these skeins of yarn by offering them from, like pulling them from my stash as things that I'm happy to let these people shop from. I'm just saying I love them so much, but, you know, I don't foresee a project in the near future other than like socks or whatever. So I would hope that they go to a better home that is going to make better use of them, because these are such beautiful yarns. They deserve to be projects. Yeah. And they're not going to be projects anytime soon in my hands. Then the other thing, I had this skein of Long Dog sock yarn. I guess we should say the names. So this is 999 Happy Haunts from Long Dog. It's like a beautiful purple.
Yeah. This
kin yarn was called Friendship Bracelet from the Camp Kin Yarn collection. These Cielo colors, I think, are just... this is Pixie. And this purplish one is Flora. And then Watershed, I don't think it has a color.
Is it Cheshire?
Cheshire. So those, one more. This skein of Hawaii Bazaar is called Dragon Glass. So I believe it was either Lisa or Amber who won the giveaway is going to get to pick 2 skeins from this stash of sort of purplish yarns. If you won, I contacted the winners all through the comments on the video. So you would have received a reply to your comment. If you did not receive a reply to your comment from me, then unfortunately you did not win. Though I gave a timeline on which people were supposed to reply. So if I need to, I'm going to pick other winners. So just pay attention. But if you did win already, then you would have received a comment on your comment, a reply to your comment from me. So I need to send these out to through email to let her pick. Then the other one was very similar. You're just going to see a bunch of similar yarns because she said that her favorite colors to knit with are blues and grays. And those are inside of my Pitchfork fiber bag. And they're grayish, right? Like this is grayish. So this was the Christmas skein from a yarn club from Knit One Chicago, which is our local yarn store, and it's got like this kind of gray wash base. I thought it was really pretty. This one is more appropriate. So this is called Wanderer from Long Dog, and it's very much like a gray with just like beautiful specks of like blue and magenta. I love that one, but I just don't. I bought it during my birthday the year before last, I think, and I went wild. Remember, we went to Knit One and I bought like 6 skeins of yarn that I had no plan for?
Oh, yeah.
So then this one is a one-of-a-kind from Plank and Stella, who I absolutely love. Look at that gray. Like, it's
so nice.
Such a gorgeous, like, I mean, there's like red and like some rust color and yellow. It's beautiful. Then I pulled for the bluish side a one-of-a-kind, a Lucky Strike from Fiber for the People. That's this sort of really nice, beautiful light teal. Then a skein of Pitchfork Fiber that's got some, it's just got these like, it's almost white, but it's got a lot of like teals and there's some pink in there.
It's very subtle. I like it.
It's super subtle. There's like blue. So I think it would just make a really pretty project. And then the last thing is called Scrumptious Pearl, and it is a colorway called Just Keep Swimming, and it is a self-striping sock yarn. So those are the things that that winner is going to get to pick from. So oh yes, the storms, I do hope that everybody is safe. Dorothy says, I'm in Connecticut waiting out Henri. Hope I don't lose power. I hope you don't either. Stay safe. And yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, so I feel like maybe that's all that we have.
Yeah.
Oh no, Brian wants to show some plants, and then we're going to cut it in like 10-ish minutes, because we've already been going for an hour and 8 minutes.
Oh, we have?
Yeah.
Oh.
But I want y'all to see some of Brian's plants, because as I was saying, Brian, during the pandemic, while my YouTube channel has become my second hobby, Brian has become a botanist, a full-on horticulturalist.
Plant collector more than botanist.
No.
But
Do you want to show some of your plants?
yeah, I guess just show some of like my favorite ones, but I got, now I'm gonna reach this one.
Oops.
This is a oh my gosh, Philodendron silver sword. It's got like these, I don't know if you can even see the silverish color on the leaves, but did I knock them off?
Oh, the mic was just in the screen. You're fine.
Oh,
But you might want to hold it this way.
yeah. So I don't know. I really
It's
like
for
this one.
focus.
It's supposed to climb. Once I get it to once it gets a little bigger, I'm gonna give it a moss pole, and there's the little, oh, something fell off. Aerial roots, and it's gonna like attach to a pole and actually climb up. It's a little too young for that right now. But just to show how fast it grows, is I got this in, oh, that's just a sheath.
Oh, something fell off of it.
I got it in May. Yeah, I got it in the mail in May, and this yellowish looking leaf was like this. It was just, it was starting to form, but it was in shipping, so it was a complete darkness, and it's obviously not going to recover. This thing is going to fall off soon, but like from here up is all from May on. That's like how fast this is growing. So I'm really looking forward to what this ends up being. I don't think it gets super tall, not like a monstera or anything, but yeah, that's one of my favorites.
So Brian is very much, wait, let me see. Brian will come to me, and I am not a plant person, though we nightly watch hours of people talk about plants on YouTube. And I actually kind of like it because some of the plant tubers, I think is what they call themselves.
Yeah.
They're just lovely people. Like there's this woman in Canada named Fern. I think her channel is called Wild Fern. And she's just like gorgeous. She looks like a model. And she just is so talented at taking care of these plants. And she could not possibly be nicer. And so she's just a joy to watch. And she talks about plants. And there's this woman in St. Louis, but she was from Phoenix or from Tucson. called Becca de la Plants, who's just hilarious, also just so beautiful and sweet and kind and talented. And so they're just so nice to watch. But we watch those people, and I enjoy watching it because it's relaxing, but I don't actually care about plants. And so I don't touch these because I'll kill them. And Brian will come to me and be like, look. And I'm like, oh. And he's like, don't you see? And I'm like, no. And it's like the slightest change. And I have to get him to tell me because I look at them and I'm like, they look exactly the same to me. But he will just notice like the slightest change and it just makes him so happy. So I'm glad he found plants.
It's so fun when there's like a new leaf growing and you've actually been able to give it the right environment, especially in Chicago. But yeah, then another one that I got is...
Oh, a leaf.
Yeah, it's just a cutting,
it's
really.
It's not going to focus. I don't know why. Here, you can do it here.
Can't really see. So it's called a Philodendron Rio, and I named it Duran because of the name anyway. But it's like a vining plant, like pothos or something like that, but it's got this cool like silver striping on it.
Wait,
and
let me see. I didn't see that. That is cool.
Yeah.
Keep talking, sorry.
And then it does have kind of a new bud coming in, so hopefully it will turn into something. The other versions of this plant like grow really quickly, so I'm kind of hoping this will turn into something fast. But this is expensive for a full plant. Like if you want to get a pot this size of it, you're gonna pay well over $150 for it. So I bought just this little cutting, and with this and shipping on Etsy was still less than skein of hand-dyed sock yarn, so I don't feel too guilty about doing that. And then
but it's one leaf.
Yeah, there was supposed to be a second, but that one just kind of died off.
Oh.
So now it's growing the second.
They should give you 50% back.
That'd be nice. It's just kind of cool to see them like grow over time, and like I would love to see how much I can get this to grow into like a full pot.
So when we moved in together, I had no plants. Brian had three plants that were given to him by friends as gifts. And now how many plants do we have?
53.
53. So he's acquired 50 plants since October, and he takes care of them all in an amazing fashion. It's very impressive. Speaking of which, do you want to show this now, or I didn't put it in there?
Oh.
Or do you want to show...
No, we don't have to. We can just do that.
We'll show this because I'm talking about it. So Brian, hopefully you can see, this is right there, but the cameras, I don't want to mess with them. But he bought this IKEA cabinet, and you can see this in better quality. I think maybe you have an Instagram post.
That was just a story, so I think it's gone, but there will be pictures soon.
So it's an IKEA cabinet that he turned into a greenhouse. So he bought this cabinet, weather stripped it.
Yeah, I've weather stripped it. I drilled holes in the back to put a pegboard in there. There's a reptile like heater thing, so it's like a heating mat in the back.
That's where it is?
Yeah, so it's stuck to the back of it.
Behind the plastic?
That's not plastic.
Oh.
And it also doesn't get really hot.
Oh, okay.
And then I also put the grow lights in there, and then I put some fans, and everything's kind of on a timer so that it can like not bake the plants, but also like give them a warm, humid environment. But it's a whole thing. If you look at like IKEA greenhouse cabinets, there's a whole Instagram account of people that have modified. There's about 4 or 5 different IKEA cabinets that you can do that with. And it's just nice because in places like Chicago, it gets really dry here in the winter. And like there are certain plants that would be nice to have, but they will never survive in like the 15% humidity that we'll get here in the winter. But I can do that and temporarily keep them in there during the winter. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if it would be nice to do more of them, but they do take space and they are kind of expensive to get set up.
Yeah, because you had to buy a bunch of stuff and do a bunch of stuff. And also IKEA has like, I mean, you know, we have the global pandemic and it's affected IKEA stock, but also I think a lot of people are buying these cabinets for this purpose. And so it's almost impossible to find these cabinets. We went to IKEA and they had nothing in stock. And it was a couple weeks later you were able to get this small one.
Yeah. There's one I wanted. It's called a Mills bow, but it's like a foot wider, like a foot taller. It's really big, which I don't know that we would have had a place to put it, but that you can't find it. Like it doesn't seem like you can find it anywhere. There's tons of people that like go on YouTube. They go on YouTube to like film their trip to IKEA for their plant stuff, and they can never find these. They're just really hard to find, and hopefully they do not discontinue making them either, but they are definitely hard to find, and people aren't really selling them. Like if you go on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, you can't really find them there either.
I just want to say that people are here for the plant content, Brian. Somebody wants to see a vlog where you do a plant tour. Andrew says, so when is Brian going to start being a plant tuber? And Brian said he was going to start a plant YouTube channel called Suffocating in Soil as a sister channel to Drowning in Yarn, which I understand the name of my channel is a little morbid, but that's a little far. So I don't know. It's hard enough to get him to do this, so I don't know if I'd ever get him to be a plant tuber, but I could get you to show your plants in a vlog.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a growing collection. I think more than having the pandemic was the bigger driver, I think, to me starting to grow these and get into them is before where I lived, I didn't think that I could grow them at all. So then we moved here, and you can see like these big windows. And so we got east-facing windows, and we have west-facing windows. So we could actually have more stuff. And then I thought, oh, well, maybe I can get more plants finally. So it was more influenced by having the space for it than really the pandemic. Because, I was interested before we moved into this place and kind of wanted to get more of them, but there was just, I didn't know where they would work, and I didn't really understand how the lighting, like how much light you really needed. I assumed you needed light shining directly onto the plant for several hours a day for anything to live, and that is definitely not true.
Oh, Yesenia, who's in Chicago, says, if you're up to swap, let me know.
Oh, yeah. I've been propagating as much stuff as I can. Just it's cool to see, like, you can just, like, chop part of a plant off and put it in water, and it'll actually grow a whole new plant.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. I love doing it. And I've been trying to get through, like, propagate more stuff before it gets too cold. Because I can propagate a few things in the greenhouse cabinet, but there's only going to be so much. And nothing's going to really propagate from what I understand once it starts to get cooler. It does need, like, usually they'll need 70 degrees and above, it seems like.
Isn't that why Crazy Plant Guy said you could do a prop box with a reptile heater under it?
Yeah, some people do that.
So they get, like, plastic totes and put, like, perlite or... see, look, I am a botanist. They put, like, perlite or...
Sphagnum
moss, and then... water, and they close the thing, and we'll leave it closed for like weeks at a time, and it just like recycles the water. It's like a little ecosystem. Needles at the ready. We can barely keep a succulent alive, and I can't either. I have some bamboo, which you can't see, and some succulents. And one time, so I sit on the couch, and the bamboo was in a glass, like a clear glass next to me, and Brian sat where I sit all day, every day working, and he's like, why is there no water in this glass? And I'm like, what? He's like, there's no water in your bamboo. I was like, oh. He's like, you sit next to this all the time. No idea. And then my succulents, I thought he's been watering them, which probably is actually good for them because they thrive on neglect. But
yeah, I'm not a big fan of succulents because of that, because like they hold all the water in the plant itself, so you don't actually know when they need water. That's why, like, so this plant the leaves will curl up when it needs water, and that's how you know when it needs water.
Closer to us. Focus. I don't know why.
Yeah, so it'll start to curl. No, actually, I think it curls. Anyway, the leaves curl when it needs water, and that's a good way to know. There are certain plants, I think, that are probably better for beginners that will do stuff like that. If you have like pothos, they'll kind of get droopy, and that's when you know they need water. Succulents, they don't tell you until they die, it seems like.
Mine always die. I had a cactus that I realized too late was hollow on the inside. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, they don't. I think some cacti will shrink when they need water, but I don't really know. I don't understand them. I like aroids and stuff, which are what these are considered. That's the family, because they do show more signs of when they need to be watered, and that helps too.
Do you want to end things by displaying our love fern?
Oh, yes.
So this is the plant I got. Brian said he wanted a ZZ plant. And so that's what I got him for our anniversary. It was one of the things I got him. But I call it our love fern, even though it's not a fern.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready for a fern, but I'm just excited about it. Like, it's an extremely basic plant. You can get it like at the grocery store and everything, but Caleb says all the plants look the same to him. So the fact that he remembered that I said I wanted this and that he found one, I love that. And I want to try to get this into like a huge plant, but I don't know how long that's going to take. These don't grow very fast.
He has another ZZ plant that's really pretty because it has like black leaves. So he wanted this companion one to it with the green leaves, which it looks very dark here. They are green, but the other one is like quite black. Oh, he's gonna get it again. Your pockets are sticking out and everybody can see.
Oh my gosh. Stuff everywhere.
Oh, there he goes.
But
Here we go. Oh, he's got these things. They catch the fungus gnats, which are gross.
oh yeah.
It's you can see the difference. Here, you hold that one. That will work.
Anyway, yeah,
They
like
look the same.
new growth
in
on
this
these is
camera.
super bright green, and then over time it turns to this really, really dark purple that looks almost black.
Yeah.
So, if there was like direct light shining on this, you could actually see the difference. But now I'm seeing that they just look the same.
Well, but like this one looks green here, and like
That's the new growth, but yeah,
they're different,
we promise.
but they're pretty. But yeah, so Raven ZZ, is that what it's called? Sammy
Yeah.
says, yeah, the Raven ZZ, they're so beautiful.
Yeah.
Cassie says, my ZZ plant is dying. I wish it good fortune, I guess. Hopefully you can bring it back to life.
Yeah, from what people say, like, really overwatering is probably what kills them the most because they don't really require a whole lot just to survive. And, like, this Raven one, I have a pole in here because it started getting soft. I was watering it once a month, and I think that was too much for it. So I'm going to try for, like, maybe every 6 weeks and see if that works. But if you overwater them, I guess they will die pretty quickly because they are holding all the water already right here and then in their roots, and they don't have anywhere to store it, so they just rot and die.
Oh, that's why they rot, because it's...
Yeah, because there's not enough air in there, so then like bacteria starts to grow on the tubers, on the
Oh,
roots.
that thing that looks like a... There's a thing that looks like a potato in there.
Yeah, these have like rhizomes or tubers or something like that, and then roots grow out of that.
So Cassie says I saw gnats on it, but gnats aren't a sign that it's dying, right?
No, gnats are just a pain in the ass, and they're everywhere. They live in the soil, but it's very rare that they're actually going to hurt a plant itself. I've heard that if it's like very young, like seedlings and stuff, they can, but it's not like they're not going to hurt this. They're just going to annoy you because they're flying everywhere. But yeah, they won't hurt it.
So Roderick says, I finally managed to kill the fungus gnats by watering weekly with a solution of water and hydrogen peroxide, about a quarter of a cup peroxide to a gallon of water.
Yeah, I've seen people do that. I use something called mosquito bits. They're like little, I think they're bits of corn that are treated with this chemical that you put, like you dip them in your water, or you can put them directly on the soil, and then they'll kill kind of the larvae for those gnats to prevent them. But it does take a few, like 2 months, I feel like, to actually start to make a difference. So you got to put those sticky traps up to catch what's already been born.
Well,
Yeah.
Cassie says it is dying and has gnats, so maybe she wasn't saying that was connected, but
Oh,
hopefully it works out, Cassie. Roderick says the mosquito bits didn't work for me.
a lot of people they don't seem to work for. I think they're working now, but yeah, I've heard many stories of people that have to try the multiple different options before they find one that actually works for their environment.
Kimberly says, does diatomaceous earth work?
I haven't heard anything for fungus gnats. I did use diatomaceous earth on what's called mealybugs, which are these nasty little things that get stuck, or they look like little fuzzy dots on there. I don't think they'll work as well for that. They're probably better for, I don't know, maybe for scale, for mealybugs and stuff like that. But I know some people do spray it on the soil to help kill the fungus gnats, as they like, when they try to rise out of the soil, they'll die when they go through that stuff. I think it's really hit or miss with people as to how successful they really are with that.
Cool. Well, should we say bye?
Yeah.
Thank you all
Yeah.
for joining us.
Thank you.
I feel like maybe if y'all enjoyed it, we'll talk about plants every time, because maybe Brian can show the growth I don't see. He can show y'all, and y'all will see, because it seems like we got some plant people here. I love it. But yeah, thanks for joining us. It's been fun. We will try to update the comments or the description of the video with links to things we talked about. If you see something and we didn't put a link, just leave a comment and we'll get to it.
Yeah.
And thanks. Enjoy your Sunday. Stay safe if you're in the path of ennui. And if you are able, I've been donating to help the people in Haiti and refugees from Afghanistan. They're great organizations, and so I would recommend looking into doing that if it's in your budget. And until next time, enjoy your knitting, and we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.